Welcome to the Christmas video. Let's make some decorations. So a little while back, I bought this mini Christmas tree with the idea to make this Christmas video where I'm gonna make mini ornaments to hang on the tree. You may have seen it in past videos. It's been sitting right here for about 2 months, but it's finally time for us to make the decorations. Let's jump in the computer and get started doing that. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is go to Midjourney. Okay, so we need to write a prompt that's gonna get it to make some different kinds of ornaments for us. Okay, we may have to adapt this a little bit, but the prompt that I came up with to start: round Christmas ornaments include stripes, stars, snowflakes, and dots on the ornaments. So I'm hoping that they will give me a few different options that I can use as templates and then cut them out or change them for myself. So we'll say go. While that's working, I'm going to look for some inspiration for the stocking nameplates. So I kind of have a theme that I want to go for. Everything in my living room is blue. So I kind of want it to be like a wood piece and then maybe like white names on it, like hanging down, kind of like a label or something. Okay, so we pulled up Etsy. I'm not planning to sell anything, but this is a place where I like to go to get inspiration, because people are really good at making crafts. Stocking tags. Okay, so this one here is kind of the theme that I was going for. A wooden tag with just like a white name on top. I also kind of like these where it's just like the name hanging down. That is pretty cool. Let's keep going. Let's see what else there is. These are the kind of thing, like the wood with the white swirly font. Yeah, that seems to be like a common name tag. These are kind of cool where it's been like cut out. I could for sure do something like that. Okay, so all of those are good ideas. Let's go back over here. None of these are what I was wanting. This one's not horrible. This one isn't bad down here in the bottom right, but I know the colors I can change on my own, and I do have a blue tree. Let's see if I can go. Okay, we're getting there, I think. Okay, this is closer to what I was wanting. I don't know, even this one. I'm going to upscale number 4. All right, so while that's cooking, let's go back to Illustrator. Bring in all of the tags that we just downloaded for our inspiration. I think these are too girly. I have 2 boys in my family, so I don't think that this is what we're going to go with. I really like this concept here where I'm going to cut out the names and whatever I end up putting on it. So we're going to go with this one. These others are cool, but we'll go with this. Okay, so now we need to find a template. So let's go to Google. Okay, and they will give you different templates that you can use. Ooh, those are cute. Not really what I'm wanting though. I'm just looking for the shape so that I have something to trace. Maybe gift tag template. I like the roundness of this one. Okay, so now let me embed this, image trace, and we will ignore the white. Done. Expand. And now we have this, and I'm going to extend it because you can see how these are longer. So I'm going to use the direct selection. Is that what it's called? Yeah, direct selection. I hit A on the keyboard, and I like highlight just the parts that I want, and then I'm just going to drag it down and make it longer. By holding shift, it makes it long, right? Rotate, hold shift. So now we have the shape that we want. I really like the snowflake, but I don't know that something that detailed is going to look good 3D printed. I'm just going to go with the Christmas tree. So now we need to go back to Google, Christmas tree, SVG, and I'm going to find one that's just super plain. Oh my gosh, these are all so cute. I don't know that that will work for my purpose. I just need a plain Christmas tree. Could I make something like this work? Maybe. We'll give it a try. The star looks a little funky, but it may look funky in the original image. I think that's as good as we're going to get. And I can change out the star if I want to. Does it look weird in the original image? Yes. Let's see if we can make this one work first. Let's make this white. Just trying to get a good placement for all of this. Once I had the tree I wanted to use and a general shape for my stocking tag, I started to work on the placement of everything. I started by adding a circle and centering it on the tag. Then I resized the tree so that I had a few points touching the outside of the circle. Since I was going to cut the circle out of the tag, the tree would need to stay attached to the tag somehow. Once I had everything in a good spot, I used the minus front tool in the Pathfinder window to cut out the circle. Next, I needed to get the tree positioned correctly. I changed the color so I could see it, Then I used the direct selection tool to extend the trunk of the tree so it would attach to the bottom of the circle. After that, I needed to make all of the individual pieces of the tree connect to each other, so I created a small rectangle and placed them at different points on the tree. Then I used the combine tool in the Pathfinder window, and the tree was finished. Oh, okay, I can make this longer. That's not a big deal. I need to put a name here, and I didn't leave a lot of room for our names. So again, use A, and I'm just going to stretch it. Perfect. Now let's get a font that we like. We'll make it something that we can kind of see on white and black. I'm not going to keep it this color, of course, but I don't really like how long this Y comes down. Dustin, the D looks weird. Does Rum Raisin work here? Okay, we're going to go with Rum Raisin. Even though it's not the swirly font like this, I think this fits my family a little bit better. We will create outlines. I think Dustin's looks fine. Let me just get it centered. That looks good. I also think these dots need to be slightly bigger. And I think it needs to come down some, so that it's more sturdy and has like more space right there. I'll do the same thing to this one. Should I? Okay, I'm gonna copy this and maybe print it 2 different ways. I'm gonna cut it out and print it that way and see how that looks. And I'm also gonna print it with his name on top. That's cool. Okay, so the first one, let's subtract it and see how that works. Let me make sure that this is going to actually print. It's not, because these are gonna fall out. This is gonna fall out, so I need a rectangle, hold that together. I like the thickness of these. Let's make that just a hair thicker. Okay, that one is good. That's holding that together. This is one that's fine. Okay, everything else is good. His is ready to print. Okay, now that Dustin is done. Once I finished Dustin's name tag, I used the same process for mine and Henry's. Then it was time to import everything into Tinkercad to make them 3D. I exported them to the Bamboo Lab slicer. But once I got it there, the name tags looked a little plain, and so I decided to try adding a wood grain texture to the name tags. I found a texture I liked from Google, traced it in Illustrator, and tried to overlay it on the name tag. I had to cut around the circle and the tree, but that ended up being pretty easy using the Shape Builder tool. I exported the texture and brought it over to Tinkercad. I made it 0.2 millimeters thick, turned it into a hole, and cut it out of the surface of the tag. Alright, if this turns out, this is going to be hopefully pretty cool. I added a wood grain texture to the top of this, and if I print it in another color, hopefully it will look like wood. But I have to get the colors right, so it may take a little bit of trial and error to see what's going to look best. And it may look dumb altogether, but worth a shot. I decided to try using 2 shades of dark brown for the wood grain, but it ended up just looking like the same shade of brown for both. I plan on trying this wood grain technique again later with different shades of brown because I really like how it turns out. Alright, I'm going to go get the filament loaded on all 3 of these plates, and I will catch up with you guys in a little bit. Those browns look very similar, but I'm hoping that since this one is more matte and this one is shinier, that there'll be a slight difference. I'm gonna go with this one as like the main color. This one's gonna be the accent color, and then of course that'll be the name. So we've got all of the prints for the stocking tags sent to the printer. Now I'm gonna go eat some lunch, hang out with Henry for a bit, and then once those are done, or after lunch, we'll come back. I'll try to get the ornaments finished and start working on the Christmas lights. So I'll see you guys then. Alright, we are back from lunch. The tags for the stockings, they're almost done printing. When they are, I'll give you an update on that. But for now, we need to go back into Midjourney and check on these ornaments that we were creating. That's the next task that we're going to complete. So here are some of the ornaments that it came up with. This is more along the lines of what I wanted from Midjourney. Again, this is just going to be inspiration. We're not going to copy these directly, but Let's see, this bottom right one is pretty good. We can use the ideas from this to create something cool, I think. So these are the ornaments that we are going to be using to come up with our own small ones. Okay, so we'll start with like a simple stripes. Let's go ahead and get a circle. For the mini ornaments, I kind of just got into a flow and started creating. This is usually how most of my design work actually happens. For the first one, I made a bunch of stripes and then used the blend tool to arrange some polka dots across the center line. I added a half circle to both ends and was pretty happy with the way it turned out. Next, I found a simple snowflake that I liked, traced it, and then cut it out of another circle. I had to attach the centerpiece using 2 rectangles since it was floating. Next, I exported just a simple snowflake and used it as a standalone ornament and also stacked it on top of another simple circle. My next idea was to make a polka dot ornament. I arranged them in a way that looked okay, and then I cut them out using the minus front tool. Next, I combined some dots and snowflakes to create a stacked design that I would eventually print in multicolor. In Tinkercad, I made every ornament 2.6 millimeters thick, and I added a ring to the top so that I had something to hang them by. The ornaments were pretty simple, but good enough for this purpose. Alright, let's get these on the printer. Alright, we've got 4 plates of ornaments. We have a navy, a light blue, white, and a blue plate. Let's get these printing, and it'll probably be tomorrow, but I will check back in with you guys once they are finished. Okay, so I searched single Christmas light SVG because I kind of want to just hang these from the ceiling. This one is very simple. I don't like the shape of it. I could change that, I guess. But I like the highlight here along the side. Here's a lot of options. Kind of like this one. All right. This is the last thing we need to do. We are going to use the curvature tool because I want these to be separate pieces. Christmas lights. And then now, well, I'm gonna have to export it as 2 different pieces. So let's export this. I don't know how big I want these to be. Bigger than that, I think. Let's go 200%. We'll see what that does for all of these. That's gonna be really big, I think. Yeah, that's gonna be way too big. 150. We'll go with that 150. Massive, but it looks pretty cool with this piece here, so we'll go with that. Floating cantaloupe. What is floating? I guess the green is floating. Ugh, it's so annoying. Let's try that. See if it'll slice. Okay, it's sliced. We're gonna go with that. It's massive, but it's not that much filament. It doesn't take that long. I'm gonna print these with my transparent filament, and we'll see what happens. Alright, you guys, the stocking name tags are finished. Here is the final product. Hopefully you can see it on camera, but the wood grain turned out amazing. Way better than I thought. I'm gonna try it with a few different colors, maybe a white and a lighter brown just to see how it turns out. But for now, I'm pretty happy with these. I'm really glad that I added the wood grain on top. Gives me some cool ideas for things I can make in the future. Plain colors are also finished. We've got the navy and the white. And I'm pretty happy with how these turned out as well. Just depends on the look that you're going for whichever one I'm gonna end up going with. I'm gonna put them on the stockings. Well, I'm gonna get them strung up with some string or yarn or something. Then I'm gonna go put them on the stockings and we'll be finished with this first part. So I did end up getting one of these torches like you guys recommended, and it has been a total game changer for cleaning up my prints. Most of the Christmas lights are still printing. I've got a couple of them finished and I'm really happy with the way that they turned out. You can see kind of this part here, you can see the 3D-ish, and then the rest of this is like a 2D. And if I hold a light up, you can kind of see the transparent, maybe. Once these are finished printing, I'm gonna get them strung up with some fishing line and some magnets, just like we did the bats for downstairs in the print shop. I'm gonna get these strung up and then hung up, and then we'll be pretty much finished with this project. And the last thing that I've been waiting on is the mini ornaments that we need to get on the tree. All I've got to do now is get some hooks and get them on the Christmas tree. Lots to do still, so let's get right to it. Alright you guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I had a ton of fun making everything for you guys. The Christmas lights in my print shop, I think they look amazing hanging from the ceiling. My little mini tree, I loved the way these ornaments turned out, and then the stocking tags in the living room, I think they really pull together the whole look that I've got going in there. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is probably going to be the last video of 2023. Plenty more to come in 2024. Thank you for all the support for these past few months. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.